Negative self-talk is a monster that whispers to most of us at some point in our lives. It always happens in the middle of the night when it's pitch black dark and there's no one around for us to lean on. For me, it happened when I was 31 and I was recovering from brain surgery for a brain aneurysm on the left side of my brain. I was in the worst pain that I'd ever experienced, and it was like this voice in my head of the devil saying to me, "You should have just died. This pain isn't worth it. It would have been better if you would just let the aneurysm rupture and died." Negative self-talk lies to us in that way. So what do we do to overcome it when that voice comes into your head and says, "You're worthless. You'll never succeed. All your worst, deepest, darkest fears about yourself are true"? What can you do? The first thing you can do, if you can't mute that voice in your head for good, then at least push pause. I always tell my son that no good conversation happens after midnight, and that includes a conversation with yourself and the voices in your head. So push pause at least until the morning light, because nothing seems clear and simple to solve at night. The second thing you can do is give that voice a face. When you give it a face, this was a technique we used in college to make our worst fears come to life so that we could curse at it and punch it and kick it and tell it off and to get away. And you can do the same thing. When you hear that negative self-talk in your head, it's easy to believe that it's true because it's coming from you. But if you give a face to that voice, maybe it's a monster, maybe it's the villain from your favorite film or somebody that you dislike. Now hear that person saying all those negative things about you. Well, you wouldn't believe it. You know that they're not true. You don't trust that person, and you wouldn't listen to the negative things they say about you. You would never let someone else talk to you the way you let that voice in your head talk to you. So give it a face, and you'll find that it's easier to blow those things off. And finally, if you just can't stop that voice from talking, then you drown it out by making a list. Get out a piece of paper and a pen and make a list of all of your accomplishments. Now, for most of us, it's going to take a lot more work to list the great things about ourselves, all of our past accomplishments, than it is to list the things that we don't like about ourselves. But that's actually good, because then your brain has to work harder to do that. And the harder your brain is working, the less room there is for that bad voice to crowd in and drown it out. So start making that list. Go as far back as you can. Go all the way back to winning the spelling bee in 5th grade. Oh, was that just me? I'm the only nerd who won the spelling bee? No matter what, you can and need to drown out that monster that's self-talking negative things in your brain. That's the only way you're going to bounce back. It's lying to you, so don't listen.